The sad truth is that most YouTube channels fail to meet their creators' expectations. This ultimate guide for planning your YouTube channel will guide you to answer these 5 questions to ensure your channel's success. In 1, who is your audience and what do they want? I cannot emphasize the importance of this. One of my channels crashed and burned rather early on because I wasn't clear about who my audience was and what they wanted. Once I figured it out, and it took about 4 months, then I realized that I could not provide them with what they actually wanted. If I'd known that up front, then I would have never started the channel. So the solution to this is to create what I call a channel purpose formula. This formula has 3 parts, which I'm going to go into in a minute. And the purpose of this formula is to guide you to create the right types of videos for the right audience. Now, let's look at what happens if we actually use this formula. Most people who start up a YouTube channel produce 10, 15, 20 videos, and it's crickets. They only get 2, 3, if they're lucky, 10 or 20 views per video. And after they got 10 or 15 videos up, they feel they're wasting their time and they give up. The second type of scenario is YouTubers who realize that YouTube is a long-term game, and they realize they're going to have to produce 50 to 70 videos, maybe even 100 videos before they have a breakout video. And once they have a breakout video, they're going to get all sorts of views, and people are going to come back to their channel to watch other videos. Everything's going to pick up. Normally, what we're told is once you have this breakout video, you need to look at the content of that breakout video and double down and create more videos that focus on the same type of content. But here's what I suggest. I suggest not only focusing on the same type of content that your breakout video has, but also focus on the same type of video style that your breakout video has. So what exactly is a video style? Every video has a style, and I'm going to show you this in a minute. And the video style that works is going to appeal to your audience. And that's why it's so important for us to know who exactly our audience is. So the 3 elements. The first element is the audience. We're going to look at this in a minute. The second element is determining what exactly the audience wants. And then finally, what type of result or transformation the audience wants to get as a result of watching our videos. When we think about the audience, we normally think about things like the audience's age or their gender or their level of education. But I want to take it a little further, and I want to ask myself, would my audience want to watch short videos, 2-minute, 3-minute videos, which don't go into things in a lot of detail? They're more like an advertisement. They cover things in a very shallow amount of detail. Or does my audience want a longer 20-minute, 30-minute video that really goes into detail because they're trying to learn something or trying to solve a problem? Second thing I want to look at is the pace of the speech, how quickly the presenter should speak, how quickly the scenes should change. Should each scene only be 2 seconds, or could the scenes be 5 seconds, 10 seconds? What type of transitions should they use? The overall look of the video, should it be very colorful and try to get your attention? And what about the special effects? These elements in red are really designed for capturing and retaining your audience's attention. And they're going to vary a lot depending upon the age of your audience, as well as the reason they come to watch your videos. So once we have a clear idea about our audience and how it's going to affect our video style, then we need to think about the audience wants. Why do they come to watch your videos? There's 3 reasons that all audience comes to watch YouTube videos. They either come because they want to learn something, they want to be entertained, or they want to develop a connection, a relationship with the YouTuber. Then you need to think about why exactly do they come to your particular channel? So in this example, my audience comes to learn something. They come to learn how to lose weight. So knowing that, I think about why would my audience want to come to watch this particular video? It's because this video is made for new moms who have a few pounds they want to shed because they just had a baby 3 months, 6 months, 9 months ago. And these mothers are convinced that the best way for them to lose weight is to go out and buy a treadmill, but they're unsure about which treadmill they should buy. So my video compares different treadmills and helps mothers make the best decision. I formulate this as question or a need. The question is, which treadmill is best for losing weight for new moms? Once I know my question, then I need to come up with a solution, okay? So people come to your videos and they're searching for some type of solution. To make your solution even more powerful, you want to consider the three characteristics that most people want from a solution. They usually want a solution that's easy to implement. They also want a solution that they can implement very quickly or will save them time over the long run. And the third thing is they usually want a solution that's inexpensive or a solution that's going to save them money over the long run. Once you know the three different characteristics of your solution, then you can formulate a solution that's going to have a lot of appeal for your specific audience. Now we go to the third element, which is the desired result and transformation. There's four different types of results or transformations. First one is people come to watch a YouTube video because at the end of the video, they want to feel a certain way. They want to be a bit uplifted or possibly a bit happy, or they might want to laugh. And this type of video is what you're going to find on channels that seek to entertain people or channels which try to develop a close relationship with the audience. The third type of channel tries to educate. People come to those channels because they want to be more of something or less of something. They might come because they want to be more confident or have less fear, or they might come because they want to be able to do something like fix a leaky pipe or grow a vegetable garden, or they come because they want to learn something. They might want to learn about the Roman Empire because they're going to have a test in their history course. We can take the three elements of the channel purpose formula and put them together in this nice little formula. The purpose of my channel is to show my audience what they want so they can get the desired result or transformation. Let's look at a specific example. The purpose of my channel is to show men over 50 years old how they can safely get in shape so they can decrease their chances of having a heart attack. So my audience is men over 50, and my channel is aimed at showing this age group how they can safely get in shape. And one group of videos that I am making is aimed at showing them ways to get in shape because they want to decrease the chances of having a heart attack. Hello, fellow YouTube nerds. Chris here to help you launch and grow your new YouTube channel. So hold on to your sombrero. You're going to get a lot of value today. The second question is, why exactly does your audience come to YouTube? In general, there's three reasons people come to YouTube. One, they want to be entertained, or they come to learn something, or they come because they have a special relationship with a YouTuber and they just like to hang out with that person. These three different reasons means there's actually three different channel types. Now, if we compare them, we can learn some interesting things. Let's look at the general question, how easy is it to attract viewers and build a following, and compare these three types of channels? In general, if you're trying to create a channel that's focusing on entertaining people or developing a special relationship with them, then it's going to be much easier to go viral and get people to come back to your channel and create diehard fans compared to an education channel. However, if you're trying to create videos that new viewers can easily find on search, and that's one of the main ways to launch a channel, then it's going to be much easier to focus on an education type channel. The second question is, how easy is it to make videos for each of these different channel types? You're going to find out that it's easy to make education videos, and you can even make faceless education videos. However, if you want to make entertainment type videos or relationship building videos, then you're going to need a high level of video skills production, and you're going to have a good camera presence. The third thing is, how easy is it to monetize your channel and to make money? Again, if you're looking to create an entertainment type channel or a relationship based channel, then it's going to be rather easy to get money from ad revenue and from sponsorship. But if you're trying to make money from selling your own products or services or even affiliate marketing, then create an education type channel. In addition to these three types of channels, we can also mix them. So This is actually very common, and I suggest you actually do mix it. But regardless of what mixture you come up with, you're always going to have one type that's going to be dominant. So, for example, if I'm creating a channel about how to lose weight, that's primarily going to be an education type channel. So, I'm going to craft 80% of my videos to be educational type videos, and the remaining 20% of them are going to emphasize relationship building or entertainment. Now, how can we put all this together to help us? Look at the 5 considerations. The first consideration you need to ask yourself is this: what is my channel's purpose and its goals? If your channel's purpose is to simply get out a message, or if your goal is to make a certain amount of money, you need to be very clear about that before you decide what type of channel type your channel is going to be. Second thing you need to ask yourself, and this one is a really tough one, you might need to get a second opinion from a close friend or a family member, and that is, do you actually have the personality or lifestyle that's going to attract viewers? In other words, do you have a good camera presence, or is your lifestyle so interesting that people want to watch your videos and try to build a relationship with you? The honest answer is no for most people. But if you do have that personality or lifestyle, then again, you can consider a relationship building channel or even an entertainment type channel. The third consideration is, are you willing to show your face on camera? If the answer is no, then you're going to have to think twice about an entertainment type channel or a relationship building channel. However, an educational channel just might be what you need. And the fourth one is, how good are your video production skills? If they're pretty lousy and video production skills is not something you want to develop, you might consider an education channel where you don't really need strong video making skills. If you do have strong video making skills, or you're willing to put in the effort to learn it, then again, entertainment or relationship building might be for you. The last consideration is this: how do you plan to monetize your channel? There's 4 types of monetization. You need to carefully study each of those and choose the one that's going to be most suitable for your niche as well as the channel type you're making. So you can see that this requires a fair amount of planning that is very wise for you to do before you even start your channel, because if you don't, then 6 months or a year later, realize that you're not going to attract the number of viewers you wanted, or you're not going to be able to use the monetization system that you wanted. So it's best to get crystal clear on all this stuff right from the beginning. Let's look at what exactly you should know before you start up a YouTube channel. Most YouTubers actually burn out very early in the game because they don't know what they're getting into. So here I'm going to share with you some very useful tips to let you know the realities of starting a new YouTube channel. I think the most important one is this: you need to understand that YouTube is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon in 2 different ways. First of all, your video quality is going to improve over time. You're going to get better with the sound equipment. You're going to get better with the scripting, with editing. So your video quality will improve, while at the same time, you're going to attract more and more viewers. Your first videos are going to get very few views. It's going to be crickets, and it's going to be crickets for quite a while. It's going to take a while for the algorithm to figure out who exactly is your target audience, put your videos in front of them. Related to that is that it's very, very easy to get discouraged, because when you're not getting the views that you want, you're going to naturally start comparing your channel with other channels, and that's quite dangerous. Here's the reason. First of all, the number of views that you get is going to vary a lot from one niche to another. So unless you're comparing your channel with other channels in your same niche, you're going to see channels that have 5, 10, 20 times more views than you do, as well as channels that have a lot fewer views. But even if you do compare your channels with other channels in your niche, then there's also a couple other problems. You're most likely going to compare your channels with the big channels in your niche, the ones that have been around for a while, that have a lot of subscribers and views. And that's an unfair comparison because they've been at it much longer. They probably have 200, 300 videos up. But even if you decide to compare your channel with other channels in your niche, which have the same number of videos, that's also an unfair comparison because your channel is unique. You're probably taking a different approach to these other channels, and they might be more successful in getting views than you are, at least initially. So, whatever you do, don't start comparing your channel with others. That's just going to discourage you. Here is some good advice, though. It's going to take a while for the algorithm to recognize you and start promoting you. And generally, I find it takes you're going to have to upload about 50 to 100 videos before your channel really starts to take off. So I always tell people, don't start worrying until you got about 100 videos up. If you got 100 videos up and things are not going right, then it's time to worry, and then you really need to start doing something differently. So as you're working on this, and you're going to probably get discouraged, you're going to want to know what exactly should you focus your efforts on improving. I suggest you focus your efforts on improving those things which you can directly control. You can control how quickly you speak, the lighting, the sound, the transitions, the pace of your video. All of those things and many other things you can directly control and experiment to see what works and what doesn't work. However, the byproduct of it, things like how many views you have, how many subscribers, you have no direct control over those. So if you're trying to focus on those things, then you're likely to get discouraged. You want to measure your success on how well you're learning to create videos. Focus on the process of getting better, not the product of your hard work. Later on, once your channel starts to take off, then you can look more closely at your progress in terms of the number of subscribers you have and number of views you have. You also need to determine right up front what exactly you're realistically going to be able to put into your YouTube venture. What I mean is, how much time can you realistically put into it every week? If you can only put in 4 hours a week, then beware that's all you're going to be able to put in. Don't try to trick yourself into thinking that you're going to wake up 2 hours earlier in the morning, go to bed 1 hour later, and magically do 20 hours, because any great disruption to your lifestyle is probably not going to be sustainable. Consider how much time you can put into it, how much money you can put into it, and what changes you need to make to your lifestyle. There is some good news, and that is you don't have to put much money into it at all. In fact, the less you put into it, the better in general. Here's the second most important piece of advice I can give you, and I'm saving this one for last, and that is your early videos are going to suck. That's right. They're not going to be very good. After you got 20, 50, 100 videos, you're going to look back at your first video and realize how bad it really was. But don't worry. That happens to everyone. Just think about it. If you want to be a good tennis player, if you want to be a good golfer, a good drummer, or good at chess, when you first start out in these different sports, these different activities, you're going to get it. Everyone does. There's a learning curve. It's a matter of continually learning and being persistent. Then you will get good at these skills. And similarly, if you focus on learning and developing your video making skills and do it over the long run, then you're going to get better at it. And then you're going to be able to attract more viewers, get more subs, and be more successful. The fourth question is, what exactly is your plan for learning the craft of making videos? Regardless of what type of channel you have or what your niche is, you're going to have to make videos, and your video making skills are going to have to improve. This is a new skill set that you're going to develop. And the best way to do it is by having a very clear plan on how to do it. I'm going to share with you 3 different approaches that people often take, and it's going to become very clear to you which one is the best. The first approach is people go out and they buy fancy equipment. They buy a nice camera, a nice lighting setup. They get good quality software for editing their videos, and they soon learn that in spite of having all these wonderful toys, their video making skills suck, and they're not going to get better at making videos until they actually focus on developing the skills. So this takes a very short-term view of the problem, and people feel they can just throw money at it and magically solve the problem. Another short-term view is to look at it as a hurdle you need to jump through as quickly as possible so you can produce excellent videos. And people who do this shift their focus from the equipment to focusing on learning the skills. Now that's great, but the problem they have is they spend more time trying to acquire knowledge than they actually spend making videos. Then here's the reason that's a problem. First of all, your YouTube channel is not going to grow until you have a good number of videos. And Second of all, you're not going to be able to develop your skills until you do make a large number of videos. The actual act of making videos is the practice whereby you're going to develop those skills. So you want to spend more time practicing it and mastering your craft rather than taking courses and learning how to do it. The problem with this approach is they lose sight of the mission, which is to make a large number of videos and develop your video making skills over that time. The third approach is that you accept that you suck at making videos. Everyone does. Making videos is a new skill, and just like any new skill, you're not going to be very good at it. But if you continually improve it and you can consistently do it over a long period of time, then you are going to get very good at it. And the way you do it is look at it as a long-term developmental process, and through the practice of making videos, you're going to get very good at it. The best way to do this is to have a very clear learning plan that points out what aspects of the video making process you need to focus on, what things you need to experiment with to find out what your audience likes, and just as important as that, you also need to sit back, relax, and enjoy the process. Because quite frankly, if you're not enjoying the process of learning how to make good videos, then you're going to hate it. Then the chances of you getting burned out and stopping your YouTube channel are very high. Here are the last two questions you need to consider. The first one is, how much expertise do you actually have in your niche? And we ask this question to find out, are you an expert in your niche or are you a novice? It really doesn't matter which one you are, but it's going to determine which angle you're going to take. And that's the second question. How will this be reflected in your YouTube channel? Because if you take the angle of I'm an expert, your YouTube channel is going to be quite different from if you take the angle of I'm a novice and I'm on a journey to learn something. Let's start with the expert. When we think about learning channels on YouTube, quite often we think about the YouTuber as an expert in a particular field. And there's certain pros and cons to this. One of the big pros is that if you are an expert, it's going to be easier for you to come up with ideas and to recommend products for your audience to buy. However, certain audience members are going to relate better to a novice. And again, that's one thing that makes YouTube a special type of education platform, is that it not only has experts that are teaching you subjects, but it also has novices who are explaining their journey and teaching you what they've learned and helping you avoid certain pitfalls. So there's always going to be a large number of YouTube viewers that prefer to learn from a novice. So those are the two main angles that you can take, but there's also two others. The third one is the best of both worlds, and that's a mixture. And this is where you have a channel with two YouTubers. One of them takes on the role of the expert, and the other one takes on the role of the novice. Quite often they engage in conversations and the audience gets the best of both worlds. The fourth option is to take that of a curator. And with this one, it's quite similar to a talk show host, where he's going to interview different people. They could be experts or they could be novices, and those people are going to share their experiences. Let's quickly compare these so you can see the differences between them. In terms of making money, able to come up with topics and have plenty of information, it's going to be easier if you're an expert rather than a novice. However, you can offset this problem by creating a channel which is a mixture. Then we look at the third issue, and this is, how easy is it going to be for your audience to relate to you? In general, some people are going to relate better to an expert. Like some people like me are going to feel more comfortable to watch a YouTube channel by an expert and feel they can relate to them better. However, other people are going to prefer to relate to a novice. This is a little bit tricky. You don't really know which way your audience is going to go. I strongly recommend that in the beginning, you create a mixture channel. That way you get the best of both worlds. And later, if you find out that most of your audience prefers to watch an expert, then your channel can change into an expert type channel or change into a novice type channel. In terms of risk, I believe it's quite risky to start a channel that either takes on the angle of an expert or a novice, because you really don't know what your audience is going to want until you probably produced about 50 or 60 videos. So it's not as risky to create a mixture channel where you get the best of both worlds, and then you can change into either an expert or novice channel Before you jump in and make any more videos or even your first video, watch this to learn a lot of other great tips that will save you months of time.